Nivedita from GSP T.P.Road, BBC News School Report. Child labor. About time we look around, isn't it? They also dream. They also have wishes and hopes. But they don't necessarily get every opportunity that we do as educated children from well-off families. Child labor is a major problem. These innocent children are trapped in a cycle of poverty and can never aspire to accomplish their goals of life. This is a problem worldwide, and it might just be right for us to realize what we have and be thankful for it. Moreover, these children could use any help they get. Spread awareness, and if you see any child working, arrange for that child to have a fair chance at future. If you can, why can't they? Some world statistics show us a brief interception at child labor percentages. Not surprisingly, the Western and more advanced countries like the US and the UK have lower child labor percentages, about 8 to 10%. Other Asian countries are slowly reducing their rates. In Vietnam, the percentage of children employed at a young age has dropped by 9% over the last few years. Other countries like China have various measures. But zeroing in on India, we are unfortunately the world's leading in child labor. An estimated 60 million children work, but as there are hidden practices, the final count is still not exact. With little hearts filled with desire, little dreams yet to stretch out and fly, and little hands slaving away to earn just 1 square meal a day. Yes, child labor is the name of the dreaded disease. The problem of child labor is a major challenge to the progress of developing countries. Children work at the cost of their right to education. At this age, they deserve to play, to study, and to reach for the stars. According to the International Labour Organization, ILO, there are tremendous benefits for developing nations by sending children to school instead of work. Without education, children do not receive proper education and technical aptitude that will increase their productivity to enable them to secure higher skill jobs in future. The next morning, when you wake up to the sound of the newspaper person at your door, you might just be surprised to find a 5-year-old boy with a gigantic bundle of newspaper that may be twice his height. Did you know that 50% of the labor-bonded children work in domestic industries? And it is estimated that 135 million children work in the Indian firework industry. To us, the colorful Hindu festival of Diwali is all about fireworks, sweets, and loads of fun with our friends. But what about the trapped tiny souls hidden beneath the dark mist of firework factories? While we happily celebrate the colorful festival, little children of merely 5 to 10 years of age slave away for 12 hours a day. The story behind our happiness in Diwali starts all the way in the South Indian town of Sivakasi, which we can call the capital of child labor. While our Diwali skies are filled with colorful fireworks, their skies are filled with fires of labor. Recently, 2 children had lost their lives in 2 separate accidents in firework factories. This life of labor has them trapped in the dark prison of hopelessness forever. Human Rights Watch claimed that 350 million bonded children work in silk production factories. While they slave away day and night to produce the finest, smoothest and softest silk, hours of continuous labor lead to tears of pain, burnt and scared skin, and injured hands and legs. We might have heard our parents say, "Don't complain, you have so much more than other children, you are so lucky." Yes, we do have so much more than other children. While our life is filled with bright colors, will their lives always be filled with the sound of a bell signaling work time? So many unhealed hearts, bursted bubbles of hope and excitement, and discouraged wishes still lay unattended. Imran was happy in the end, but Danish is just one case out of a million. A child you might see roaming the roads, selling toys or other tiny gadgets, may actually have such capable skills and spheres of talent. What do we know? Those skills have wild goals and their hopes so high. One that is known now in the market for his loud voice and persuading ability to sell a limp carrot for just a meal that day may actually have wanted to become the next Prime Minister of the country. Just stop a second and look around. TVs, air conditioners and 5 new clothes whenever we feel like it. Let alone such facilities, take just the simplest of things that we take for granted. Fans, food to eat, and a completely thatched roof without holes or calluses could be a big deal for one of those kids. They can achieve, they can become, they can change the world, but they can't come out of their shell. It's our duty now. Treasure what you have and look at those below you. In a caring way, of course. Help them out and fend for those who might be under the threat of child labor. Free their spirits and watch the magic. Your small action of explaining, letting a child get educated or learn whatever she or he might want to could behold great treasures. You never know until you try. So remember, they also dream. This is Niveda and Nivedita from BBC School Report signing off. Thank you.
And Dhananjay for the BBC School News Report. Okay, so how many of us like to burst crackers? It's almost all of us. Okay, but we feel so happy while bursting crackers. But do you know who makes these crackers? Children like us who want to read and write. Also they like to learn, but they have to work with poisonous chemicals. Not only the children they are working get affected, but also our nature and environment. The smoke let out by crackers creates a lot of air pollution. Most of the crackers bursted is in the time of Diwali. Why is bursting crackers the only way to celebrate Diwali? Instead, we can eat sweets and savories and celebrate Diwali. We should reduce the amount of crackers to reduce the number of child labor. Everybody knows what it is, yet very few actually do something about it. More than 95% of the workers in the factories are not insured health or life, leaving their entire families helpless if they are unable to work. The government, seeing this, has passed a rule that no child under the age of 14 should be forced to work without education. But this still goes on, and that is because the government has not enforced this rule. We, the local people, can still do something about this. We see child labor everywhere, in shops, in stalls, newspaper boys, etc. Everywhere. We just need to report these to the authorities or the police, and they will take care of it. We would have contributed. Help join the struggle and say no to child labor. This is Sindhu and Dhananjay signing off.
We are Siddharth Prabhakar and Abhijit for the BBC School News Report, and we are here to tell you what we can do against child labor. Our school gives us many chances to donate storybooks, notebooks to help the poor children, and we rightfully take complete advantage of this. We can also go to some rural areas and make some notebook or storybook drives. Donate many of them to all the poor and small children there.
The government too has banned child labor, and it has provided free education, food and uniforms for these illiterate children. Some of us have taken up the initiative to prevent child labor. Let us join hands and prevent child labor. This is Siddharth,
Abhijit signing off.